Hello out there. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do one job with you, and that's change the brake calipers. Cut. Is my microphone on? I just recorded a load of stuff with my microphone off. Disclaimer. If you don't know how to take off these old ones and put on these new ones, don't do it yourself. Brakes are dangerous if they don't work. And if you don't know how to fix them, they're not going to work. So my disclaimer is, if you're not sure, if you don't know how to work on the brake system, get some assistance or get someone to do it for you. If, however, like me, you do know how to do it, and you've done it a few times and you're happy to do it yourself, keep watching. We're going to take these old ones off, put some new ones on. This is how to do your brake change on the Tiger 995i. I'm not going to change the brake calipers, I'm going to change my brake pads on the calipers because, sorry for looking a bit distant there, I was actually thinking of something else, because I'm going to change the brake pads, but I won't be putting the calipers back onto the bike because the wheels are coming off to get new tyres. Going for some Pirelli Scorpion STR rallies. So there's no point in putting the calipers back onto the forks, but I wanted to just change the brake pads because when I took the calipers off, I thought I'd have a look at the pads, and this is what I had. Look at that, look. So if you can focus that in there, get my mugshot out of the way. Well, there's not much left on there, is it? So I've got a new set of brake pads, all three, two sets for the front and one set for the rear. And yeah, this is what we had. That's what we should have. Right, so it's safe to say it's time. Those are worn out. I've gone for organics. If you want to do Sinter or whatever, it's obviously up to you. Just a good choice from a local shop down the road. But I just want to show you how to get the caliper off and to change these, and what you can do whilst you're there, just to give your brakes a little bit of a do-over. Let me just take you down to the caliper and let's have a look what's going on there. I've had these off already because I've had the pads out, but just for demonstration purposes, I've sort of put it back into its original position where it would be, where you would find it, and just to show you basically how to do your brake pads. Basically the caliper is held on with these two bolts here, and the brake pads, I'll show you a new one, and the brake pads, they sort of sit in here like this, and you see at the bottom there's a hole here, there's a guide pin that goes through here, and that's underneath this cap. So you need to take a good big fat screwdriver, don't use a small one because you will wreck this screw. Unscrew this, I've already undone it, just wanted to show you that it's there. It's just that screw is not a big bolt in itself, it's just a dust cover. Okay. And underneath that you will see an Allen bolt, which is actually the brake pad guide pin at the bottom. So, and I like to undo the screw and undo this, break it free before I take the caliper off, because it's much easier to do it whilst it's in situation. Don't forget to undo the brake line retaining bracket here, the old garden hose thing, because otherwise you won't have much working room if that's still attached to there. You can't get the brake saddle off you can't get the brake caliper off very far. And then undo these two bolts here. They're quite tight, undo the 2 bolts. Now, more than likely, your brake disc will probably have some sort of a lip here through wear and tear. This one doesn't, because these are actually quite new, but you might have a lip here, and it will make getting the caliper off quite difficult. Some people think they're stuck on, but they're not. What you do is, or what I like to do, is undo the bolts. All right, I mean the pads are out, so it's obviously free here, but just in your case, undo the bolts, and then using a rubber mallet, I like to knock the caliper back, sort of spin it away from the wheel, and once you've got it spun away, then you can take it out. And then your pads, your old ones, which are in here obviously, well they are, I don't know which one that was now, it doesn't matter. The point is they're inside here and they're held in by this retaining clip, and you have to remove the retaining clip using an Allen key. And once the retaining clip comes out, then you can remove the brake pads, because as I say they're held in this hole here, they won't just fall out. Then you do have some sort of like sprung loaded retaining clip here, and there's one inside here, I'll show you in a second. Don't lose those, they'll probably be all crudded up, so you might take them off and clean them. And then you have this side here, this arm, it moves. This is obviously so your calipers squeeze together. It moves, and you have like a guiding pin here and a guiding pin at the top, which go in like rubber guides, and these rubbers, like this one here, they go really manky after a while, so I've got a new set of those on order. And this one here, this bottom one, so you can swap these two out so that the guides can go into some nice new rubbers. Put grease in those and they'll slide in nice and out nicely. Don't want those seizing up. The problem is, because the brake pads are worn so far out, the pots, the pistons, have come out quite a lot. So I need to just push them back into the caliper, but by pushing them back in, I'm going to force all the fluid back up to the reservoir at the top. But mine's really, really full, so I'm going to have to take some fluid out before I do that. Because there's not enough room to get the new pads in here. So here's that bottom pin, and the other one is in this piece here. It's this here. Right, so give them a clean, don't lose them, because they're not in the new packets. They are, well, they weren't in mine anyway, so, but they are like part of the caliper and not in the brake pad package. So let's just go back up to the top to show you how I open the reservoir so I can push these pots back. So now I've got the brake calipers off. I'm not going to squeeze the brake lever, because by squeezing the brake lever I will just push the pistons out. Don't want to do that. I want them back in, not out. The fluid is really high. I'm presuming that somebody at some point has done a brake pad change and just pushed all the fluid back up and didn't remove any, but now I'm going to have to push the pistons back in more. I need to remove some of this fluid. I'm very lucky that the top screws are Allen bolts that look clean. Sometimes they're, one of the big problems with old bikes is they rust up. You get these rusty old screws and you end up drilling them out and all that sort of stuff. So I'm saved with that. So let me just put you somewhere where you can see me working, and I will get that out, take some of the fluid out, and then I can push the cylinders back on the pistons on the brake caliper. So let me just get this lid off. I have to undo these Allen screws here, and luckily for me they're not rusted in. I've had a lot of these where I've had to drill them out over the years. If they do get rusted in, you just take a big drill about the size of the screw, drill the head off, right? And once the head's off, you can take the cap off, and then there will be the rest of the screw in, and you can normally grip that with mole grips or pliers and twist it out. So don't drill all the way in, or don't try to use easy outs. Just drill the head off and pull the cap off, because they're just countersunk screws. So what you would do is you would basically just drill the head off the screw and then grip the thread with a pair of pliers and get them out. So I don't know how full that is, so although I'm going to paint this tank, I still don't want to be dropping fluid everywhere, so I'm going to put a little cloth in there, look. In fact, let me take this mirror off. It's only on there loosely because I'm testing some other mirrors, and it makes it easy for me to work. Don't need to make it hard for yourself, do you? So, right. If that lid won't come off, don't pry it with a screwdriver or something. Little rubber mallet or a hard like a rubber hammer, plastic hammer. There you go, give it a knock and it'll pop off. Don't like prying things because you'll just break the sealing edge, and that is full as a full thing can be. And I don't have a syringe, so I'm going to think about how to get that out. Might just suck it out with a bit of tubing. I've got some old tubing somewhere. A little piece. Got a little bit of tubing, and I've got what any old pot will do for now, just to get that out. And what I do is I will just suck it up. Where have you gone? I've moved my door and the camera's on it. Look, sorry about that. Right, so got my tubing, got my pot. I'm just going to suck a bit out. Got my finger over the hole, look. I know this isn't a particularly good way of doing it, but it works. But I do need to get quite a lot out. I'm going to be bleeding the brakes after all this is done anyway. And why? Because by bleeding it through, I'm going to put new fluid in. So you don't have to bleed the brakes after doing brake pad change, because you've not induced any air into the system. And I know that a lot of you will be saying, no, that's a stupid way of doing it. So much potential for things going wrong. Well, there is potential for things going wrong. You're absolutely right. But I suppose it's a case of whatever works, isn't it? So I've got that out of there now. I'll just show you that. Right, so I've got a lot of fluid out. And now I can push the pistons back. So now we can push the pistons back. And how are we going to do that? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. There are tools like this one, where you basically put that over there and wind it shut basically, and you push the pistons equally in, which I'll just do now anyway. Now what's happening now is the fluid is rising in the reservoir, so I've got my eye on that because I don't want it to overflow. But what some people do is they put the old pads back in and use like pliers to force the pistons back. So I mean, I've pushed them all the way back now, almost. See, loosen them off. Look at that. See, they're almost all the way in. All right. Now, what you do now is you get your brake pads. Hold on. These are my brake pads. I'm going to go in with the holes at the bottom. I haven't done it now, I will do it later, but I'm just showing you how to put them in. But you can put some copper on the back here. It prevents the brake pads from squealing when you're braking. Sometimes you'll find it difficult getting them in. It's because you need to have the top of the pad up here lined up properly, otherwise it won't go in at the bottom very well. There we go, that's just dropped into place there, look. So if it doesn't line up here, it's not, something's not right at the top. So that's that one in. And the other one. I'm going to say something really silly, guys. The rough bit on the inside, not on the outside. So not like, so they're like that, and not like that. We can't do it anyway, but you have a left and a right, and you could get it wrong potentially. So and then push that pin in. So what you do now, you screw the retaining pin in. Don't have to do it all the way up, but basically just to hold the pads in. Just don't forget to do it up if you don't do it all the way up now. And now you've got that big gap to put over the brake disc. If you didn't push the calipers back, you wouldn't be able to get it over there. And then all you do, put it over there like that. It went on really easy because I pushed the calipers back right a long way. Right, put the screws back in, which hold the caliper in place. And then you do the retaining pin, tighten that up, put the dust cover cap back in. I'll show it. I'm taking it off later, but I'm just showing you how to do it. So let me just tighten these bolts up here, just to demonstrate. Right, now that's in there. And really, if you look up there, you see how far that fluid's come up. Look, a little tiny bubble, you can see it. That's come all the way up. That's almost filled it back up. And what I would do is I would now pump the lever, and the pistons would come out and push the pads against the brake disc. But I'm not going to do it because I've got the other side off, and if I pump the lever, the pistons are going to come out the caliper on the other side. But that's basically how you do it. Take off these two bolts here, take off the dust cap, undo the retaining pin, take the caliper off, take out the old, well, once you've removed the retaining pin, pulled it out, the old pads are going to fall out. Clean everything up, replace these rubbers. If they're like these are terrible, they don't always look like that. And replace the rubbers, put new grease in, put the new pads in, then tighten everything back up to the torques specified in the manual. And that's basically it. Do that 3 times, and that is how you change your brake pads. Alright, so as I say, luckily enough, we have brake pads on this bike that are the same front and rear, so you can just get 3 sets of the same pads and change them all, and they're all the same system. Undo the 2 bolts, remove the dust cap, pull out the retaining pin with the Allen bolt, remove the caliper from the disc. Sometimes it will stick because of the lip. Just use a little nice rubber hammer or something just to knock it off. Clean everything, replace the rubbers, put the pads back in, and away you go. And once you're finished, make sure you give everything a real good clean with brake cleaner. Don't go oiling stuff or doing things like that, or greasing it, or putting WD-40 on it to make it all look nice and that. The disclaimer is, that's how I do it. If you're not very good with mechanics or you don't trust it, then I seriously suggest getting someone else to do it for you, or do it under supervision. So that's it. That's brakes on the Tiger. I'm looking forward to the new tyres because I like the tread pattern on those and I want to see how this looks. And by the time we've got the tyres here, I might have done some more painting on the bike. So as you know, I'm getting rid of the green. I think I've said that about 1,000,000 times. I'm still getting rid of the green. And just a quick one for you. If you watch the teardown video, you will see that I had to cut the indicators off with a pair of clippers because they'd been hardwired into the bike and I couldn't get them off without having to cut the wires. I didn't want to just wind them together or solder them again. These had been soldered together. These indicators are aftermarket ones. So I've put some proper waterproof plugs on, so now I can take them on and off. So done that. Done a bit of painting just to check some colours out, see how that works. I'm going for a silver black thing. Tyres coming. And once the tyres are on, and I've done the brakes, and I've put some other bits and pieces on, and I've done the painting, then we're ready to take it for its roadworthiness test. I'm looking forward to see how that turns out. So, see you next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how you're feeling, how your week was. It's up to you. I'd be really, really happy about that. So, yeah, guys, see you next time.